Hello, my friends. Chris back again, and this time we're talking about a little movie from 1971 called The House That Dripped Blood, directed by Peter Duffel. Now, Mr. Duffel, he hasn't really directed. He's mainly a pretty prominent television director in the UK. When I looked him up, he hadn't really done it. This was like his biggest film that he had made, is the highest rating and all that. So, Peter Duffel, TV director. Anyway, this stars Denholm Elliott. We may know him, or you may know him, as Marcus Brody from Indiana Jones. And he was also in the film A Bridge Too Far. We also have Peter Cushing, good old Moff Tarkin from Star Wars, and the incomparable and legendary Christopher Lee from Lord of the Rings and Dracula. So this movie, it's a horror anthology film. I didn't know that going in, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. The underlying narrative is there's this house for rent in the UK. Everybody who moves in there, something crazy, tragic happens. And it's basically 4 stories telling us the history of this house and the residents that have lived there before, all while the underlying story is a detective that is trying to figure out what is wrong with this house and why people keep, getting murdered or disappearing or just, all the crazy stuff that's happening to people. So that's pretty much the story of the film. But I really liked it. I didn't realize that it was an anthology film when I first started watching it, and it blew my mind, because at first I was like, okay, this is interesting. It's an old movie, an old horror film. It's got legendary actors in it. Then they hit you with a twist, and you're like, wait, what? This is the first story, right? And you're like, oh, that's a twist, okay. And then the next story, they hit you with another twist, and you're like, whoa. I was thinking it was the same story. I was like, dang, 2 twists within the first 30 minutes of the movie? Heck yeah, this is freaking awesome. So then I really started paying attention to it. Turns out, boom, anthology film. Blew my mind. I mean, it was so well written and directed and acted. It was impeccable, really. I mean, our first story is about a murder conspiracy where the lady is trying to trick her husband into thinking there's a ghost, but really the ghost is a dude with, makeup, and there's this conspiracy to kill him. The second one's about a haunted wax museum, which was pretty cool. It had Peter Cushing in it, and that was one of the better stories. The next one was Christopher Lee, and it was about his daughter. I'm not going to say anything about that. It was an excellent story. Overall, it's just a really fun movie. And it was way better than The Dungeon Master that I reviewed last, because The Dungeon Master, it was directed by 7 people, like I said in that review. And it wasn't even an anthology film. This was directed by one single guy. 4 stories. All great. Fantastic. And for this to be in 1971, what? I didn't think that the anthology, and I'm no cinema historian, even though I'd like to think that I'm, pretty well versed. But I don't know very many horror anthology films that came out before the 80s, I haven't done a lot of research, but for this to be, 1971, and so dadgum good, it was definitely worth my time. I think it'd be worth your time if you checked it out. I was so impressed with this just because of the acting. We have these horror legends in Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. They've both worked together countless times before. They're not together in this film in the same segment, but just their acting is always phenomenal. They really bring it. Denholm Elliott, he was, Marcus Brody, but not Marcus Brody. We know him as Marcus Brody, but he wasn't goofy or silly. He was a very serious character in this, and it was impressive to see his acting talents there. We, as in I enjoyed it a lot. It's been on my list for a couple weeks now. I had seen it streaming over on Prime for free, and so I was like, I'm gonna check this out, and I just happened to get around to it yesterday. Wish I'd have gotten to it sooner. I'd love to find it a physical copy to purchase, because it's definitely one of my favorite 70s horror movies. It was really good. And I think if you guys were to give it a chance, you'd probably like it too. I would give it probably 4 out of 5 stars. It was super impressive to me. It's streaming over on Prime. Like I said, if you guys want to check it out. Overall, guys, it was great. You should definitely give it a shot. And if you guys want to get connected to more Cinema Dolce 56 content, go to Facebook. Look us up on Facebook. On the Facebook. I sound old. Look us up on Facebook with the little magnifying glass. Find the group Cinema Dolce. Join up. Participate in discussions. Post your own reviews. All that kind of stuff. We'd love to have you. And as always, guys, as long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making them. Love you. God bless. Peace out.